Ever thought I'm just being lazy? That one sentence might actually be your brain waving a tiny white flag. Burnout doesn't always crash in like a thunderstorm. Sometimes it slips in quietly, disguised as thoughts you think are just being realistic. I just need to get my act together. Sure, except if you used to handle life just fine. And now even brushing your teeth feels like a mountain. ... That's not laziness. That's exhaustion, pretending to be failure. Everyone else seems to be handling life just fine. Classic. Burnout loves that one. When you're drained. Everyone else starts looking like superheroes while you feel like you're barely functioning. But trust me. ... They're faking it too. If I just push through, it'll get better. Sounds productive, right? But pushing through burnout is like slapping duct tape on a leaking pipe. It might hold, for now, till it bursts. I don't even care anymore. This one's sneaky. It's not detachment. It's shutdown. That numb, gray, whatever feeling. It's your brain pulling the emergency brake. I'll rest once I finish everything. You won't, because everything never ends. Rest isn't a reward, it's a requirement. So, if any of these thoughts sound familiar, you're not weak, you're not broken, you're just tired, and your brain is trying to get your attention. Maybe it's time to stop, to breathe. Listen, you keep telling yourself, I'm just tired, that's all, maybe. You are, but then you sleep. 8 hours, 10 hours. You cancel plans, skip the gym, stay in all weekend. You're still exhausted, not the kind of tired that coffee fixes, but the kind that seeps into your bones, makes your limbs feel like concrete, your brain foggy, your motivation missing, your emotions dulled, and yet you keep repeating the same line, I just need a good night's sleep. Like it's some kind of magic reset button. But what if it isn't just tiredness? What if it's your mind waving a white flag, quietly, desperately begging for a break that sleep alone can't provide?
Ow.
Burnout doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers just loud enough for you to hear if you're finally ready to listen. At first, it was just little things. You stopped replying to texts, stopped checking your inbox, stopped caring if the laundry piled up, or if your favorite show dropped a new season, and then it grew. Deadlines didn't matter. Birthdays slipped by even. Stuff you used to love, painting, baking, your weekend bike rides felt like ... effort. You told yourself you were just tired, that your spark would come back, that motivation is a wave. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. But deep, down, it felt different this time, like something inside you just turned off. This isn't laziness. This isn't being dramatic. This is what burnout feels like. It strips joy out of joy. Turns I love doing this into I just don't care. It's like watching life happen through a dirty window. You see it, but you don't feel part of it anymore. The scariest part, you might not even notice it happening till one day you wake up, look around, and realize you haven't felt excited. In weeks, if you've been telling yourself, I don't care more often than you'd like to admit, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's your brain shutting down to protect. You from a storm you have been pretending doesn't exist. It's Monday morning. Your alarm goes off and your first thought isn't, let's do this. It's okay. Just make it to Friday. You drag yourself through meetings, reply to emails with a fake smile, cross items off your to-do list, like it matters. But in your head, you're counting down the hours like a prisoner waiting for release. You just need to get through this week. You said the same thing last week, and the week before, and the one before that. It's like you're stuck in an endless loop, burning energy to survive 5 days just so you can collapse for 2. And then hit repeat. You don't dream anymore. You endure. You survive the workday just to scroll in bed until your brain shuts off. You celebrate tiny wins like I didn't cry in the bathroom today, or I made it to 3 p.m. without caffeine. This isn't living, it's coping. Not that voice in your head telling you next week will be better. It's not optimism, denial. Burnout doesn't always feel like a crash. Sometimes it feels like running a marathon with no finish line, just a growing sense that no matter how far you go, you're never actually getting anywhere. So if just get through this week has become your daily mantra, maybe it's time to stop surviving and start asking what you need to actually feel alive again. You're lying in bed, phone in hand, scrolling past stories of people crushing goals, launching side hustles, running marathons, posting perfect smiling selfies in perfect filtered light, and you can barely get yourself to shower. Reply to that message from 3 days ago. So you whisper to yourself, everyone else is just handling it better. You start to think there's something wrong with you. Like maybe you're weak, maybe you're lazy, maybe you're just not built for this fast-paced world. But here's the thing. You're not broken. You're burned out. And social media, it's a highlight reel, not a mirror. You don't see their panic attacks at 2 a.m., their skipped meals, their therapy sessions, their quiet moments of, I don't think I can do this anymore. Comparison is a trap. And when you're running on empty, everyone else looks like they're speeding past you, but they might just be better at pretending. Burnout thrives in silence. In the shame we carry when we think everyone else has it together but me. But here's the truth. You're not behind. You're not failing. You're human. Maybe what you need right now is not to push harder, but to pause and give yourself the kindness you so freely offer everyone else. You've felt off for a while now. No drive, no inspiration, just a low, dull hum of meh in the background of everything. So you tell yourself, I'm just in a slump, like it's some temporary glitch, a weird dip in your energy levels. That'll pass if you just wait it out. You force yourself to push through, try to stay positive. You read some motivational quotes, drink more coffee, listen to that productivity podcast that made you feel worse last time too. And yet, the slump lingers. You used to get excited about ideas. Oh, everything feels like work. You procrastinate, not because you're lazy, but because even starting feels impossible. But here's what no one tells you. Burnout doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it feels like slowly sinking in wet cement, still quiet and easy to ignore until you realize you can't move anymore. Slumps come and go. But when the slump turns into a season, when off becomes your new normal, that's not just a phase. It's your body whispering, this isn't sustainable. So if you keep saying, I'm just in a slump, maybe it's time to ask, what if I'm actually just overwhelmed? And more importantly, what would happen if I gave myself permission to rest before I fully break? You catch yourself fantasizing, not about luxury, not about beaches or spas, just disappearing for a bit, somewhere quiet where no one expects anything. And you don't have to explain why you're so tired all the time, so you say it. Just need a vacation, a break, a reset. Just 1 week away and you'll be back to normal, right? But burnout isn't fixed by plane tickets. You can't outrun exhaustion when the thing draining you isn't your environment. It's the way you've been forced to live inside it. So even when you finally get that vacation, you spend the first 2 days sleeping, the next 2 panicking about the work piling up, and the last day dreading the return. You come back, open your inbox, and realize that nothing inside you actually feels rested. Because here's the truth. If you're constantly needing an escape from your life, maybe it's not rest you need. Maybe it's change. A vacation is a band-aid. Burnout needs surgery. And sometimes I just need a break, is your soul trying to say, I'm tired of pretending this is okay? So the next time you dream of running away, pause and ask, what part of your daily life are you so desperate to escape from? You wake up late, you miss a deadline, you leave messages on read for days, so you beat yourself up. I just need to be more disciplined. Like burnout is some kind of moral failure, and the cure is just trying harder. You buy a planner. You download habit trackers. You watch productivity gurus who wake up at 4 a.m. and meditate for 90 minutes before breakfast. You think, maybe I'm just lazy.
Maybe I'm just weak.
But you're not. You're tired. And here's what no one tells you. Discipline isn't the problem. Your willpower isn't broken. You've just been in survival mode for so long, your brain's trying to keep you afloat by shutting down anything non-essential, like motivation, joy, even basic executive function. This isn't about laziness. It's about depletion. Trying To outdiscipline burnout is like trying to run a marathon with a broken leg. You don't need a pep talk. You need healing. So the next time that inner critic says, you just need to push harder, remind yourself, rest isn't weakness. It's repair. And sometimes the most disciplined thing you can do is stop and give yourself permission to not be on all the time. There was a time you cared, really cared, about your work, your art, your ideas. You had energy, excitement, fire. Now, everything feels ... flat. You sit in front of the same screen, staring at the same project, and feel nothing, no spark. Drive. Just a heavy silence where your passion used to live. So you tell yourself, I guess I'm just not passionate anymore. Like it's a personal flaw. You've lost some essential part of yourself. But what if that passion didn't disappear? It just got buried under pressure. There are deadlines, expectations, bills, stress. Passion doesn't thrive in survival mode. It needs air. And right now, your mind might be too busy fighting fires to remember what joy even feels like. This isn't about laziness. This is grief. It's grief for the version of you who used to feel alive doing this. And the most dangerous part, you start to believe it'll never come back. That the burnout is your personality now. That the numbness is permanent. But it's not. You're still in there. The passion is still in there. It's just waiting for you to stop surviving long enough to feel human again. You're overwhelmed. You're exhausted. You haven't felt like yourself in weeks. Right when you're about to admit something's wrong, you stop. You look around and think, well, other people have it worse. And just like that, your pain gets pushed aside because someone else is going through a divorce, or working 2 jobs, or living in a war zone. And here you are, struggling to get out of bed. It feels selfish to complain. But comparison doesn't cure suffering, just silences it. Pain doesn't need to be the worst to be valid. You don't have to earn the right to feel burned out. You don't need a dramatic reason. You just need, to be honest, burnout isn't a contest. There's no scoreboard. There's only you and whether your mind and body are begging for relief. So next time you hear yourself say, other people have it worse, remember this. That's true. And it changes nothing. Because your suffering deserves compassion, not comparison.